good position here.
Huge dress. Oh, and the dress has to be flowy.
Just let me know when Kim is coming.
Okay.
Kim will be wearing a green dress.
Good job.
Oh. Checking in a lot. So.
Got the box.
Yeah.
Can't tell, but there's a box.
No, I can't. Now I can
I
tell.
couldn't. I didn't know where to put it. I was like, either I have a rock here or a rock here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully the color scheme worked out.
I'm surprised our greens match as well.
Yeah.
All good on the walkover?
Oh, she wants the song, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You got it.
We got it.
You want to get in closer? Or how do we? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
A
Hello,
little
everyone.
louder.
It's wonderful to be here together celebrating Danny and Riyana. The love you have discovered in each other and your commitment that will now extend into marriage. Before we get started, an enormous thanks to your loving parents, Dave and Priyanka, Jim and Phyllis, for their support and sacrifices and their beautiful example of lifelong companionship, going strong over 30 years later. We also remember the loved ones, grandparents, aunts, and uncles who aren't able to join us in the coming weeks of celebration, but are here with us in spirit and whose influence has nurtured this foundation of love we celebrate today. I must say I was surprised when I was asked to officiate today. I'm not a priest. I'm not a father of any faith, but I'm a writer. People pay me to write words. And I'm Danny's older brother. And I've gotten to know Riyana and watched this relationship bloom over the last few years. And it's an honor to preside over this special ceremony. Today we celebrate a journey that began over 5 years ago. In March of 2019, Danny and Riyana met at a bar in Greenwich Village for what was supposed to be a quick drink. Nearly 5 hours later, they had moved onto a second bar and already made plans for the following weekend to watch March Madness basketball. Just months into your relationship, a global pandemic put the world on hold. But instead of turning inwards, you both stepped up for each other, shuttling from the far end of Brooklyn to the Upper East Side and back, often spending a week or longer together. In the last few years, the two of you have built a home together, twice, first in downtown Brooklyn, and now Astoria. And you've handled with grace the many rites of passage for any New York City romance. Long days of apartment hunting, absentee landlords, flooded basements, flying roaches, as we learned last night at Carmine. Most recently, you've supported each other in new life pursuits, new jobs and graduate school programs, new long-distance running habits and pop culture obsessions. When I asked you both to share a few words about what you admire in each other, Danny said he loves Riyana's honesty, her loyalty, and her bravery. How she isn't afraid to speak up for herself or share her true feelings. Riyana said Danny is a great listener. She loves his sense of humor, his ability to be silly, as well as his patience. What strikes me most in your relationship journey is this idea of an easy love that fits like a glove. A quick drink that becomes a whole evening. Random walks around Brooklyn on the weekends to see where you end up. How much you both simply love passing the time together. This foundation of mutual care and respect, open honesty, and playful companionship will serve you well in the years ahead. I'm thrilled that my younger brother has found such an incredible partner. I'm relieved at the ease with which Riyana has jived with our family and our weird sense of humor and our Midwestern quirks, and how wonderful it's been to mingle and grow both of our families together. May you continue to nurture this sense of joy and lightness, even when the times get tough. May you continue to be each other's safe haven and greatest adventure. May you always remember this day and the coming weeks, surrounded by those who love you as you embark on this new chapter together. Now, I want to invite Dave and Jim to each share a short reading that they've chosen for today's celebration. Dave, do you want to go?
Sure.
Oh, it's fine.
Thanks, Matt. Today, we celebrate not only the union of Riyana and Danny, but the beginning of a beautiful journey for the King and the Dasgupta family coming together. Jim, Phyllis, Matt, Kim, you have all welcomed Riyana into your lives with open arms and hearts, and we are so grateful for your love and support. I'm fine. As they embark on this new chapter of their life, I wanted to share a verse by a renowned Bengali poet, Rabindranath Tagore, that speaks to the essence of the family and belonging. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out of the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into the ever-widening thought and action, into the heaven of freedom. My father, let my country awake. Tagore's words inspire us to create a future where our families, like the ever-widening thought and action he speaks of, will grow together, embracing the beauty of differences and the shared of our love. We are so excited to share this celebration with you all. We look forward to Danny and Riyana's love, laughter, and memories together and forever. Cheers to the King family and also to the Dasgupta family, united as one with this holy act.
Beautiful.
beautiful. Okay.
You have known each other from the first glance of acquaintance to this point of commitment. At some point, you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes, indeed, you have been making commitments in an informal way. All of those conversations that were held in a car or over a meal or during long walks, all those conversations that began with when we're married and continued with I will and you will and we will, all those late night talks that included someday and somehow and maybe, and all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all these things that we've promised and hoped and dreamed. Well, it meant all, every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another: acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, even teacher, for you have learned much from one another these past few years. Shortly, you'll say a few words that will take you across a threshold of life. All things between you will never quite be the same. For today, for after today, you shall say to the world, this is my husband and this is my wife.
Thank you so much, Jim and Dave, for those beautiful words. Danny and Riyana now wish to share their own vows, which they've written for one another. These memories and promises convey in their own words what this union signifies. Danny and Riyana, if you want to hold hands, the rest of you. Or maybe if you have to read. You don't have to box. Alright, Riyana will read first.
Danny, from the moment you entered my life, I knew my life was going to change.
You know,
Sorry.
If you want to, maybe you want to
yeah,
come close.
let's take a little.
Yeah. Danny, from the moment you entered my life, I knew my life was going to change. You're genuine, caring, and you have such a silly sense of humor. I love your passion for film and for cooking, for me. I love how much you love pizza and wine. I love how invested you get into sports. And I love that you've started rooting for NC State too. And I love how easy it is to convince you to get a sweet treat with me at any given time of the day. As I reflect on our relationship, I'm reminded of how young we were when we first met. We were only 26, just figuring out our own lives. And soon enough, we were thrust into the pandemic. And it felt like that's where our relationship really started to shift. I remember seeing my friends flee New York and getting away from the city. I also remember feeling like I had to make a decision, but I didn't want to leave. I mean, for one, I had just signed a new lease on the Upper East Side, but for another, I didn't want to leave you. I chose you. And honestly, it felt like you chose me too. And in the midst of choosing each other, our relationship blossomed even more. And that keeps being a theme. We keep choosing each other. I feel like a lot of people can pinpoint a moment when they thought, okay, I'm in love with this person. For me, it didn't work that way. It didn't happen all at once. It didn't happen all at once, like that all-consuming feeling. Instead, for me, it was kind of like a slow burn. The more time we spent together, the more I fell in love with you. You made me feel safe and secure despite all of the craziness we've been through. And we've been through a lot. A pandemic, floods, tornado, and an earthquake. I feel like if we can get through all of that, we can get through anything. In the words of my favorite poet, Taylor Swift, I've loved you for 5 summers. Now, honey, I want them all. Danny, I promise to keep choosing you. Even when you crack your knuckles and chew really loudly, I'll keep choosing you. I won't take you for granted. You're my daylight. You're my home and my best friend. I love the life we've built together, and I'm so excited to see what the rest of our lives look like. I love you.
Riyana, as we stand here today in Central Park, surrounded by our closest loved ones, it is mind-blowing to me that we have pulled off the logistics of this 10-person event. Lest you forget, I am the same person who got us lost en route to the train station in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I once booked us in Airbnb beneath a family whose children sang Hamilton at the crack of dawn. And just the other week, we spent an hour making buffalo chicken dip at your suggestion, even though it became obvious after 2 or 3 bites that you hate buffalo chicken dip. We are a couple of silly geese, but maybe that's why we're such a great match. Although neither of us is the most practical person, it's worth noting that from the beginning, our relationship has overcome all manner of practical issues. When we started dating, we lived an hour apart from each other, and I worked until late in the evening. Somewhere in there, you were unemployed for 8 days, and it was the worst thing that's ever happened. After a year of that crazy schedule, COVID hit, and suddenly we had all the free time in the world, but nowhere to go. We kept ourselves sane and learned how to coexist in a deeper way. I learned that you hate doing the dishes and need your beauty sleep every night. You learned that I know nothing about skincare and spend half of my work shifts watching Lakers games. Maybe if we were more practical people, we wouldn't have made so many fun memories exploring the city together without a plan, or discovering things about ourselves amid all the ups and downs of the past 5 years. Being with you has made me a stronger person, a better communicator, and a more thoughtful individual. In return, I have made you sit through the Nicole Kidman AMC ad more times than anyone should endure. I admire your honesty and loyalty, and I know that you'll always have my back. I cherish your effervescent energy, which somehow shines through even when you're venting about subway delays or talking about anxiety medication. As we enter the next chapter of our relationship, I promise to keep doing my best to make your days easier and more joyful. I will always be here to listen to your horror stories about corporate America, and I will be delighted to hear your recaps of the latest controversies on social media. Most importantly, I vow to continue doing the work of fortifying our relationship through good times and bad. Even if one day you again spend multiple paychecks on Taylor Swift tickets, I will be here. It is an honor to be by your side today and for the rest of our lives. I love you. Now, if I got my New York marriage license research right, let us officially declare your commitment to one another as you exchange your rings. Our ring keeper, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ring.
This ring will serve as a daily reminder for yourself and a symbol to the world around you of the commitment you have made to one another here today. I think you can hold it. To you, Daniel Joseph King, take Riyana Dasgupta to be your lawfully wedded wife, your constant companion, and partner through all the adventures and challenges in the shared life ahead of you? Oh, ahead of you.
I do.
Do you promise to maintain and strengthen this commitment in plenty and in want, in joy and in sorrow, in sickness and in health from this day forward? I read that wrong. No, I didn't. Whatever. Okay. Logistics.
Yeah.
Do you, Riyana Dasgupta, take Daniel Joseph King to be your lawfully wedded husband,
I do.
your constant companion and partner through all the adventures and challenges in the shared life ahead of you? Do you promise to maintain and strengthen this commitment in plenty and in want, in joy and in sorrow, in sickness and in health from this day forward? Riyana and Danny have declared their intent of commitment to one another as witnessed by all of us. But we, their community of family, are invited parties to this commitment and thus have a responsibility to this couple. And so, do you who are present here today vow to surround Danny and Riyana in love, to contribute to this new community, and to support them in their marriage?
We do.
We do.
We do.
Okay. Without further ado then, by the power vested in me, by the state of New York and the one-day officiant license rule, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Woo!